As almost everyone who took 9th grade Spanish knows, grande means big and impressive. It's also the best term to describe the bass you catch at Billy Chapman Jr.'s Anglers Inn on Lake El Salto. Big, impressive grandes. So no mas messing around. STIHL's Reel in the Outdoors with Joe Thomas happens right now.
That's what I got.
STIHL's Reel in the Outdoors with Joe Thomas is brought to you by STIHL. Are you ready for a STIHL?
Oh, baby. Baby, baby, baby. Oh. Look at that thing. What a porker. Got him. That's a decent one, yeah. Hi, I'm Joe Thomas and welcome to STIHL's Reel in the Outdoors. If you ever wondered what bass fishing's like in heaven, it's here, Lake El Salto in Mexico. It's summertime and it's gonna be great, if this is any indication. Oh yeah! Every year I head to Mexico. It's one of those trips I can't wait to get back, and every year's the same. My home base is always Billy Chapman Jr.'s Anglers Inn on Lake El Salto. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Whoa. And I'm glad I got braid here. Oh yeah, oh mom. I love it. I love it. I got jiggy with him now, baby. Jiggy with him. That's all right. There, look at that. That's an El Salto bass right there. Look at that. Crunch that jig. Crunch that jig. The thing is you got two choices really when you're out in these trees. Is you get here first thing in the morning and they're suspended up in the tops of the trees, and you can fish topwaters and you can get them to come up and eat it. A little bit later in the day, you don't have a whole lot of choice. You got to go down where they live, and it's total combat bass fishing. It is my favorite thing to do in the whole world. I take the pitching rod and I put on some 65-pound braid and a big old archy jig, and we're going to work. We're going to make some things happen, and we might break some stuff, but it's going to be fun, I promise you. The reason I chose to go to Lake El Salto this year in June was the fact that the water was at an all-time low. It's an irrigation lake and it fluctuates dramatically, and usually late May and June is when the water gets low, the fish get concentrated, and they're really grown up. It's a big one. It's a really big one, dude. This could be the one we're looking for. Oh yeah, it's a nice one. This is the coolest place on the planet. Cool, look at that toad. I got my drag lock solid. He's just stripping drag. Look at that sucker. What a giant. Oh, what a giant. Look at that bass. Just one after another, and they're just eating that jig, just eating it. Unreal. At first look, when you look out there, you see a sea of trees, and you're like, well, where do you start? You know, are there fish on every one of them? Well, there's probably some fish on most of them, but the bigger fish are definitely relating to the channel. And what Danielle is doing, he's taking the boat and he's sitting in the channel and he's fishing these larger trees. Fishing hook. He's fishing these larger trees that are adjacent to the channel. And what it's doing is it's following that creek channel, and the bigger trees grow in the bottom of the valley because that's where the river was. That's where the old river was. This is a desert climate, and before they impounded the lake, those big giant trees lined the river valley. They flooded. The little sparse, scrubby trees, they're up in the flats. But these big, mature trees, when the water gets down, it exposes them, and it's just like, well, there's the place, there's the place. And I'm sure that I'm having a good time. Hey, stick around. I'll be right back with more big bass action on STIHL's Reel in the Outdoors.
Hey, welcome to El Salto, anglers in. Yay!
But yeah, but you know what? It's the energy expelled per fish. It's not about, you know what I'm saying?
Just so you know, we were making fun of you this morning and everything.
This is Billy Chapman Jr.'s Anglers in International. Good job, man.
Hello, my name is Billy Chapman Jr., owner and founder of Anglers in International. Let us show you our world. Just give us a call, 1-800-GOT-A-FISH for more information.
It's got it all, and every time you come here, almost everybody I've ever brought here has caught the biggest bass of their life, including me. This place is just off the hook. Oh yeah, it's daddy. It's daddy. Oh my gosh. I can't even hardly hold him. Come on, is there a tree right underneath you? He's gonna jump. He's gonna jump. Oh man. Oh, jeez Louise. He's got that jig all the way down his throat. Yeah, sucker. That's combat bass fishing right there, baby. Don't try this at home, kids. Oh, stop. Come over here. Look at that pig. Look at that thing. What a porker. Oh my gracious goodness, and look at this, look at that. Wait a minute, I gotta come back here and get a little love. Give me a little much love there, my man Danielle. You a good guide. That jig is a good way to catch these big bass. Danielle told me, he says, we won't get many bites. There's a little language barrier, just a little one. But when he says grande on the jig, he means it. And we're just getting started, man. One of the things I like about this lake so much is the fact that you can catch them a lot of different ways. And a lot of anglers like to catch numbers. You get out there on some of that deep structure that time of the year, you can literally catch 100 bass a day, and they're gonna vary in size. Sometimes you can catch a giant, but the real way that time of the year to catch a big one is to get in the trees and do combat. Oh, it's a giant. I don't know what he's around. Oh, he's big. Really big, really big. Oh, did he come off? No, he's right there. He's right there. Oh. Can't even jump, he's so fat. Look at that pork chop. Wore yourself out down there in the trees, didn't you, brother? Look at that. Danielle, we're just catching them and catching them and catching them. I want to tell you something, good guide. I was just telling the cameraman, it's amazing. These guys work with tiller handled trolling motors, and I'm so used to being in the front, having the trolling motor, having control, and being able to position yourself to make the cast is so critical. He's watching every possible shot. He's figured out, just like I have, exactly where these fish are positioned, and he spun me around and he opened it up to where I could get that shot up into that heart of that tree, and there was the reward. It's awesome, awesome. Remember I said at the beginning of the show, you ever wonder what bass fishing would be like in heaven? I think it's probably pretty close to this. This place is it's just off the charts. I mean, not enough adjectives to describe it. But what I'm doing here now, it's not for everybody. It takes a little bit of practice, but the rewards are big. I mean, the bites are not as many as you might get out on a structure spot. This lake is full of fish. And there's times of the year when you can catch giants out on the structure spots, but right now in June, the fish have really gotten into these channels, and the bigger ones are around these trees. And I would much rather fish for 6 or 8, 10 bites in a morning session than I would catch 40 and none of them are over 5 pounds. This is how you catch a 10-pounder, and I'm gonna catch a 10-pounder. Normally the line I'm going to choose is 20 to 25 pound fluorocarbon.